Ladies and gents, welcome back. 3 years after the start of the pandemic, and we are struggling to get back to normal. Now, it's not the people of the country that are having a hard time getting back to normal. No, it's the government and the different provincial governments around our nation are holding on, just really holding on to these measures and won't let them go. Now, people are protesting. People are getting into the streets and saying, no, we can't do this. And well, including officials from municipalities here in British Columbia. We have here from True North, BC Mayor demands rehiring of unvaccinated healthcare workers amid 10th ER closure. The mayor of Merritt, British Columbia, wants the province and health authority to bring back the unvaccinated healthcare workers who were fired due to the provincial COVID-19 vaccine mandates, as the city faces protests over repeated emergency room closures in the city and across the province. On Saturday, the group of Nicola Valley residents demonstrated against the 10th closure of their local emergency department since December. This is incredible that this is still going on, but it is. Mayor Mike Goetz has made a request to the Interior Health to drop remaining COVID-19 vaccine requirements and hire back the unvaccinated healthcare workers who were put on leave. And of course, up until even just recently, there's a new measure, the order of the provincial health officer, as early as soon as April 6th, 2023. And we're going to get into that just briefly here. The hospitals years ago were fully functioning hospital. 40 beds were out. We had surgeons. We had babies born here. This is not a magical situation. It happened before and it needs to be returned to that, said Goetz. Goetz is expected to discuss this issue with province's health minister Adrian Dix this week. Protest organizers Georgia Clement has accused Interior Health of putting politics before the safety of British Columbia. People here are in danger. Interior Health is making decisions and they're playing with our lives. They're playing with politics and our lives. Literally, organizer Georgia Clement told CFJC today. Now, you don't have to look further than this channel exactly to see, many people have been speaking out about this. I had a 3-hour conversation with Corinne Mori, who is a fired nurse in British Columbia, who's been standing up against the government and the unions that are working together in collaboration with the government to keep unvaccinated healthcare workers out of their jobs in British Columbia. And it's unbelievable. Now let's get into this order of the provincial health officer. Of course, Bonnie Henry, this is the provincial health officer. Now this order goes on to say post-infection immunity and testing. I have considered and continue to consider, based on the currently available and generally accepted scientific evidence, whether the other measures such as post-infection immunity, PCR testing and rapid antigen testing are as effective as vaccination in reducing the risk of transmission of the SARS-CoV-2 virus or the severity of illness if a person is infected. Now, we don't have to look very far other than, Global News, who reported on this back in March 19th, 2021, saying, can COVID-19 vaccines reduce transmission? Here's what to know so far. If you have received the coveted coronavirus vaccine shot, there is both good and bad news. While there is a high probability you will not get sick with COVID-19, there is a chance you can still catch the novel coronavirus and in turn infect others. This is not something new. This is something that we've realized for a long time now, since March 9th, 2021. Vaccination doesn't prove that you are immune, said Alberto Martin, professor of immunology at the University of Toronto. Canada has so far approved 4 different coronavirus vaccines. During the global clinical trials, shots from Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson showed high efficiency rates ranging from 62% to 95% in preventing moderate to severe illness, but not, again, in turn, to stop you from infecting others, which this is considering. While people who have contracted SARS-CoV-2 may develop some post-infection immunity for a period of time following an infection, the strength and duration of that immunity varies depending on a multitude of factors, including age, occurring medical conditions, medications being taken, which variant they were infected with, severity of infection, and time since infection. Well, we've all heard, even from Duclos, the minister in charge of all of this, that immunization wanes even with these vaccines. The risk of infection and hospitalization is significantly higher in people who remain unvaccinated, this claims to say here. Now, we're looking at some of these ones that people are told that they were to take, even in the United States, are being pulled off of the market at the moment. This is the US FDA saying that the monovalent Moderna and Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccines are no longer authorized for use in the United States. And I'm not going to get into that because, well, you can't talk about that on this platform. Vaccination requirements and other preventative measures. This coming from the health officer of British Columbia, still as of April 6, 2023. A person who is a staff member or a student must not work unless the staff member or student is vaccinated or provides proof of vaccination to the post-secondary institution of which the person is a staff member or at which the student is enrolled, or has an exemption, which is not really given for any other many reasons in Canada as a whole, provides proof of the exemption to the post-secondary institution and is in compliance with the conditions of the exemption when working. A post-secondary institution must not permit staff member or a student who is not in compliance with Section 1 to work. A staff member or a student who is not in compliance with Section 1 must not work. Now, even Pierre Poilievre, chiming in on this in a recent interview, has, well, this to say about vaccine mandates.
Well, there's two common sense solutions. First, I would say that these idiotic vaccine mandates have to go. Believe it or not, there's still hospitals that have vaccine mandates in place that shut out our doctors and nurses and deprive our patients of treatment. Get rid of the vaccine mandates now. They were never justified, but even if you supported them at one point, how is it possible that you can go into a nightclub and kiss a perfect stranger, smack on the lips, but you can't go to work without a vaccine? It's obviously not science, it's politics, and it needs to end so we can get our doctors and nurses back. Two.
And he goes on to give other reasons or other methods to fix our healthcare system. I'll leave a link in the description down below. You can watch the whole interview for yourself. But yeah, you can go smack somebody on the lips in a nightclub, a complete stranger, or even visit the local glory hole as suggested by our health minister of British Columbia. You can't make this stuff up, folks. But what are we looking at nowadays? We're still looking at a situation where here's a situation where an unvaccinated woman was denied an organ transplant, proves natural immunity in bid for life-saving procedure. So she is actually she's proved she has natural immunity, but they're still denying it. The Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom's lawyer representing the unvaccinated woman who has been denied an organ transplant, a life-saving procedure in the healthcare system because of her, her choice, her personal choice not to take this procedure. She's demanding Alberta Health Services overturn its decision after patient Sheila Annette Lewis proved she has natural immunity. Lewis is dying of a terminal illness. She was removed from the top of the organ donor transplant list after refusing to be vaccinated against COVID-19. She has been challenging the constitutionality of the COVID vaccine requirements for transplant candidates put in place by AHS, an Alberta hospital, and 6 transplant doctors for more than 1 year. Unbelievable showing here. Now, of course, they're moving on as always, and while we were wondering whatever happened to it, but oh, it looks like monkeypox is making a comeback. Yeah, that's right. They're pushing these sporadic new monkeypox cases in Canada have experts urging vaccination ahead of summer activities, I guess. And well, of course, government.exe is corrupt, pointing out one thing. Is that what's on your lip in this last scene here, Justin Trudeau?
No matter who you are or where you live, Budget 2023 is for you. It's a plan to invest in Canadians, in our economy, and in our future. To find out more about what's in it for you, check out budget.canada.ca.
Oh, what's in it for you, Mr. Mr. Got a sore on there. Anyway, we'll leave that one up to you guys. You decide what you think that one might be. Whoa. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this whole situation. How is it that we're still on this? The rest of the world has moved on, and we're limiting how many practitioners can be in our hospitals based on silly vaccine mandates that no longer should be required in our country. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.